Good morning, folks. It's a cool and cloudy, a bit rainy Southern California day. Hope you're having a great time wherever you are. We're going to go into day two of the 15 biggest entrepreneurial goofs I've made in my 25 years of doing this kind of thing. So today's topic is going to be pretty closely related to yesterday's. So yesterday we talked about how difficult it is when you try to make everybody your customer, try to save the world and make sure everybody gets benefit of your product or service. Today we're going to talk about the concept of firing your problematic customers or clients. I'm going to tell you a story. So, excuse me. Um, I probably had my business open. I had martial arts school probably for maybe a couple of years, and I was at a business conference, I think somewhere in LA, and the speaker was talking about this general stuff, and he gets to this point, and I thought this was so. I remember this so clearly. He's like, all right. He looks at the audience. He goes, hey, I want you guys to think about the the most problematic customers you have in your your facility. The ones that complain a lot, the ones that always have an issue. They always seem to need a ton of extra time and attention. And he goes, I want you to think about how many of those people actually exist, and then what percentage of your population they actually comprise. And I started thinking, and I remember at my time, I don't know how many people I had in my business, but right away, I thought of two or three people that always had a problem. They always complained about the schedule or the prices or the time or this or that. And then I started thinking like how the vast majority of my people, they came to me when they had an issue, but they were pretty much, they just did their thing. So it really hit me when he said that. Then he goes, then the guy continues on. He goes, imagine how many of the problems would be solved in your business if you didn't have that small percentage of problematic customers. And so then I think all the headaches I have and all the things I have to worry about and the stress and the return calls and et cetera, et cetera. And it really became clear to me like, wow, so the revenue generated by these challenging folks, and it's not that they're bad people. Maybe they just aren't a good fit for what you're doing. Maybe they aren't. Your product doesn't serve their needs, or your service isn't exactly what they want. So it's not blaming customers for being problematic. They might have legitimate issues, and maybe the issue is they're just not a good fit for what you do. So I took this advice, went back to my school the next week, and sure enough, one of the problem people starts complaining about something. It was and the challenge I had in my business since I was in service is if you have a couple people complaining in your business, all of a sudden it just kind of like becomes a group, bitch fest. Everybody starts complaining about stuff, which is a ton of a toxic environment. You don't want to develop that. Now, if you sell products, it's a little bit different. But now with online, it's a different world. When I started my business, internet was, it was it was in its infancy. Most people didn't even have websites. Excuse me. So I bought the person in the office. I go, look, we had several challenges over the last year or so. You had a lot of issues with what we're doing. So I'm gonna just make it easier for you. I'm gonna go ahead and release you for your membership, and you're now free to take your business to another place that's gonna better fit your needs. And it was really an odd thing because I've never done that before. I've never not for, I would remove some of my business if they were like a danger or they were causing a scene, but just because there was not a meshing of the minds. That was the first time I had somebody removed, and of course it cost me revenue because this person was a paying customer. So I had the same kind of conversation with one or two of the people that were always complaining, and then things got way better. Those folks went on their merry way, and then but the other folks realized that wow, if we don't like what's going on, and we might not have the access to this business anymore. So, not saying you should strike fear in the hearts of your clients. But for your mental well-being and the well-being of your business, you have to be willing to look at your base of clients, of your customers, and if you have a couple, and it's usually going to be just a couple that are just always a problem. They always want a refund. They're not happy with your product. They complain about your service. Now, I'm assuming that you really go out of your way to solve the problems. If there's a problem with the product, you take care of it, you replace it, or you fix it. If there's a problem with your service, you're actually doing your best as a business owner to, meet the needs and make sure things are the way they're supposed to be. What I'm talking about is folks that, even though you go through all these steps, they still aren't happy. They're still complaining, and they're kind of a toxic part of what happens in your business. So I want you to look at your and now if you're just starting out in business and you don't have one yet, or maybe you're early on. And again, it goes back to yesterday. Yesterday, when you open a business, you want to serve everyone. Everybody's your customer, and you realize that's not the best approach. Same thing here. So if you have a customer and it comes to you, a client, whether your service or product, and you just know that they're just not going to be a good fit. And yes, I know you need to generate revenue and you need to make the money, but there's a lot of times where whatever revenue will come in from this client isn't going to be worth the headaches and the challenges and the extra stress. Running a business is stressful enough. When you bring on people who are toxic to your business because they aren't a good fit, it's just not worth it. So I hope you guys find this useful. And if you're watching this live, uh, just write live in the comments. And if you're watching replay, just write replay. Now, like I said yesterday, I'm going to be giving out a book on Friday, and this book is going to be my favorite out of all the business books I have. My favorite business book, and I will send it to you. So I need you to pick a number between 1 and 100 and write it down, whether it's replay or live, it doesn't matter. And then I'm going to go through all the comments at the end of the week from whichever source it is, and I'm going to do a random number generator between 1 and 100, and whoever lands on it will get the book. So it doesn't cost anything. I'll send it to you, no charge, because I want to share what we're doing. I'm passionate about entrepreneurship. I've been doing it a long time, and I really want to make it easier, which is why I'm doing this series. And lots of people out there have all the answers, and they'll tell you, "Oh, this is the marketing you need," and it's great, and you should pay attention. But what's in my mind almost more important is the pitfalls, all the stuff that comes across your way that maybe you didn't think about when you start your business. When you start your business, you're excited. You tend to be very optimistic. Entrepreneurs are, by necessity, probably the most optimistic group of people you'll ever encounter. Because if there's a problem, they have to be the business owner has to be the last person to throw in the towel and give up. They have to steer the ship. They have to be the captain. And they got to make sure that morale stays high. So entrepreneurs are ridiculously optimistic, which is one of the reasons I like surrounding myself with them so much. There's a lot of doom and gloom in the world. Business owners and entrepreneurs are just tend to be much more positive and optimistic. So if you are watching this live, just write live in the comments so I know kind of what reach I'm getting. If you're watching the replay, just write replay in the comments so I can have an idea of who I'm reaching that way. And leave me a number between 1 and 100 to get my favorite business book. Now I have two more books I'm going to give away, one next week and one the week after. But this one that I'm going to give away this week is had the most impactful change in my life, in my mindset as an entrepreneur. And I hope you enjoy it. All right, so this is Coach Daryl Johnson, and we're out on the West Coast. So on the Harvest Coaching Program, we are out here keeping the left coast moving forward. And if you have any questions, hit me up. I'm going to leave some contact stuff. So I'm going to put this graphic up. I just want you to think about this for a minute. And I hope you guys are enjoying the day. So again, here it's a kind of a cool, cloudy, rainy day. It's a Tuesday, January 18th. I'm not sure when you're watching this video, but make sure you leave a comment. Ask a question. Leave a number between 1 and 100 to win my book, and I will talk to you guys soon. And